Although we've had all of the shows cancelled, like everybody else, we've still got a lot of work to do on the nursery to keep things going. Everything needs to be watered, all cuttings and pots need to be potted on into bigger sizes, and here we have our cuttings bench. We've got a rather small greenhouse and two benches, normally chock-a-block, starting to harden off. This is last year's cuttings, and we can take between 15 and 25,000 cuttings, 500 varieties, sometimes maybe only 2 or 3 of one variety, up to 200 to 300 of a couple of other varieties. And from here we will go to the next size. So our cuttings are potted up when they're at the right stage into, these are 7 centimeters, and this is our kind of our hottest tunnel, so it really gets them growing fast. And it's not the camera that is showing you the tilt, but that is actually the tilt of the land, because we are on the side of a hill. And this tunnel is just got the netting on it to give us that kind of shading. And for the eagle-eyed among you, you'll probably see some scented pelargoniums in the background. That's our collection, and we probably have around about 25 different varieties of the scented pelargoniums. And now we're going to move on to our next size. Here we have 1 litre pots. So these are the 7 centimetre plants potted up into 1 litres. And of course, all the time, at the right time, we're cutting back to try and bush them out a little bit. Sometimes, of course, they don't really want to do that. Sometimes they'll just put up a straight growth, but you just have to keep pruning and hoping that they will branch out nicely. And these have been through, and hopefully we will be potting up these fairly soon into the 3 litre plants. And you might be able to notice that in this tunnel we're trying to use the green polythene, which is meant to simulate shaded conditions for shade-loving plants. And although camellias do prefer shade, they do like some sun to help them set their flower buds. And as you can probably hear, we are quite in a windy site. Now we have gone into our 3 litre tunnel, and you might be able to tell that you can see the slightly steep slope that we have to work at. And of course we don't really need to go to the gym. We will walk up and down here quite a few times a day, especially carrying things, and that's all the fitness we need. And so these 3 litres are going to be 3, maybe 4-year-old, depending on which variety. Some grow slightly slower than others, and this is generally the size we start selling them at. We are now in the 5 litre tunnel, so quite a few, probably around about 1,000 or so of those 3 litres will get potted up into the 5 litre size. Again, cut back at the right time, trying to get them bushy. And this is getting a bit empty now because we're getting towards the end of the season, and we have sold quite a few of these. And again, you can see the slope on it. Most of our tunnels are on the slope. Our 10 litre tunnel is again, these plants are now probably around about 5 years old. So every year we pot up a number into a bigger size pot to keep them growing well, prune them, cut them back. And this is, again, because it's on the side of this hill, we've actually terraced this bed because the larger plants like to be slightly more on the level, and so we've terraced it as one of the only places at the moment that is properly done, and we gradually try and get around to do a bit more every year. Of course, the benefit of being on the side of the hill is that when you come up to the top, you get an absolutely incredible view. And we generally sit here outside during the summer when we're having tea break or lunch break, and we can enjoy this fantastic view. Right over there in the distance, you may be able to make out Tor Cross village, and if you follow the headland around behind the tree, you actually get to Start Bay Lighthouse. And as I pan round, you can make out Slapton Sands and the sea, and that is how close we are to the beach. And of course that does mean that we do get the wind, and that has had an effect on the nursery, but we live with it and make the most of the view.